Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Medical Qigong practice this Sunday morning. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm one of Henry Jean Wally's Medical Qigong students. And today we are doing things a little differently. We started doing this last week. We're going to be doing the 3-line relaxation, and then we're going to do the rejuvenation series 1 through part of 8. And then do our seasonal exercises. And the reason why this is slightly different from the way we had been doing it is because we're going to lengthen the first class from 8:15 to 9, so 45 minutes to give us a little extra time for rejuvenation. And then from 9 to 9:15, we're going to be working on the seasonal exercises or thereabouts, but we'll be done by 9:15. And we'll have our Sunday social. Or social Sunday. So stick around if you can. But let's go ahead and get started. So as always, if you're feeling a little lightheaded or if you haven't eaten yet today and you feel like you should be sitting down for this exercise, it's a standing meditation, it's a still meditation. So if you feel like you might get a little lightheaded, please feel free to do this standing series seated. And then also, if you start to feel lightheaded during the exercise, please feel free to open your eyes and maybe readjust yourself, reground yourself. If you have low blood pressure, or once again, if you haven't eaten yet today, maybe there's a chance you might get a little lightheaded. And just to go over the 3-line relaxation technique, which is our warm-up today, it's going to be going over the 3 kind of planes of the body, but it feels a little bit like 5 lines, like 5-line relaxation technique. So we're going over the frontal aspect of the body, then we're going to be going over the posterior aspect of the body. We're going to start again at the head, coming down the sides, and then down the outside of the arms. Then we're going to allow the energy to gather underneath the armpit area, underneath that shoulder joint, and then come down the inner aspect, the medial aspect of the arms. And then finally, we're going to allow that energy to gather underneath the shoulder joint and the armpit area and travel down the sides of the torso, the lateral and medial aspects of the legs. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're opening up, feet are hip width, shoulder width apart. We want a nice stable stance so you can really relax into the body, relaxing into the moment. Tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. We're breathing in and out through the nose. Taking a moment to allow the mind's eye, bringing awareness to the bottoms of the feet, letting the bottoms of the feet melt into the earth. Softening the knees, that knee joint. Relaxing the low back, dropping the tailbone so that there's some space in that lumbar spine. Relaxing the shoulders, allowing them to not only drop down a little bit, but come neutrally over the hips so that they're not curling too far forward or being pushed too far back. Relaxing the jaw. And then allowing the very top of the head to reach up just a bit into the sky. Maybe opening the top of the head, the crown of the head a little bit. Closing the eyes. We're imagining that we're standing underneath a waterfall of energy. We're allowing this energy to pour down from the sky, greeting the very top of the head, the crown of the head. Noticing as it travels forward through the scalp, flowing down over the forehead, down over the brow, entering the eye, circulating within the eye socket, cooling here before then flowing out over the cheeks, down the bridge of the nose, down underneath the nose, into the upper lips, entering into the gums, the upper teeth, flowing down within the mouth, into the lower gums, the lower teeth, exiting the lower lips, coming out from the lower lips, down into the chin, flowing down from the chin, underneath the chin, down through the throat, allowing this waterfall of energy to travel down through the throat, meeting the clavicle. Cooling here for just a moment as it starts flowing down through the musculature of the upper chest, down into the solar plexus, entering the upper abdomen, flowing down into the middle of the abdomen, the lower abdomen, circulating throughout the abdomen, flowing through all the organ systems. We're then gathering at the hip flexors, where the lower abdomen and the upper legs meet. Flowing down through the upper thighs, down into the knees, entering into the knee joint, circulating here, before then flowing down through the lower legs, the bones of the shins, those muscles of the shins, connecting with the tops of the feet, flowing down through the tops of the feet into the webs of the toes, going into the toes and then releasing back into the earth. We're allowing this waterfall of energy to take with it anything we don't need or want, softening, relaxing any stagnations, leaving behind clear, pure energy for our bodies to use. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Bringing the awareness once again to the very top of the head. Allowing this waterfall of energy to fall from the sky, meeting the very top of the head. Flowing posteriorly through the scalp, down over the back of the head, entering into all those little wonderful nooks and crannies where the back of the head meets the neck, cooling down through the musculature of the neck and the cervical spine. Flowing down to the very tops of the shoulders. Flowing down through the musculature of the tops of the shoulders, down the upper back, the musculature and bones of the upper back, the scapula, thoracic spine. Coming down to the low back, the lumbar spine, flowing into the sacral area, the glutes. Cooling here for just a moment, gathering before then flowing down the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings. Entering into the popliteal fossa, that soft area behind the knees, circulating throughout the knee joint. Exiting out through the musculature of the calves. Coming down through the muscles, attaching to the Achilles tendons, flowing down through the Achilles tendons to attach at the heel, circulating throughout the heels of the feet, before then flowing underneath the arches of the feet, the pads of the feet, the balls of the feet, into the webs of the toes, entering into the toes, before then releasing back into the earth. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose as we relax into this waterfall of energy. Flowing down through the front of the body as well as the back of the body. As it flows, it's softening any areas that might feel stuck, any areas that might feel stagnant. It's taking with it anything we don't need or want. Allowing clear, pure energy to be left behind to nourish the body, nourish the channels, the organ systems. Bringing our awareness once again to the very top of the head, the apex of the head. Allowing this waterfall of energy flowing from the sky to greet the scalp before then flowing down the sides of the head, the sides of the scalp. Flowing down into the temples, easing its way around and into the ears, circulating throughout the ears, before then flowing down into the jaw, entering into the structure of the jaw, the musculature of the jaw. Gathering here, before then working its way, flowing down underneath the jaw to the sides of the neck. Coming down the sides of the neck, flowing down onto the tops of the shoulders. Gathering here, circulating throughout the shoulder joint, before then flowing down the outer aspect of the upper arms, that tricep area. Into the elbows, before then flowing down the backs of the forearms, the muscles here, the bones of the forearms, the radius and the ulna, coming down to connect with the wrists, circulating, skimming through the wrists, before entering the backs of the hands, the bones of the hands, the webs of the fingers flowing through the fingers, and then releasing from the fingers back into the earth, allowing this waterfall of energy to take with it anything you don't need or want, leaving behind clear, pure energy for our bodies to use. Bringing the arms, allowing them to float just a little bit away from the torso. Allowing for greater ease of chi and blood circulation. Allowing the energy to gather now underneath the arms, underneath the shoulder joints in that armpit area. Circulating a bit into the shoulder joint, before then flowing down the inner aspect of the upper arm, that bicep area. Entering into the elbows, circulating here, before then flowing out to the inner aspect of the forearms. Going through the musculature. into the inner wrists, circulating throughout all the bones of the wrists, before then entering into the palms of the hands, gathering here for a moment. And then allowing the energy to flow from the palms through the fingers, out the fingertips, releasing back into the earth. Allowing this waterfall of energy to soften and relax any stagnations. Taking with it anything you don't need or want. And leaving behind that clear energy that our bodies and channels can use. One last time, we're bringing our awareness to underneath the arms, allowing the energy to gather here in that armpit area. Forward and flowing down the sides of the torso, the sides of the ribs through the intercostal spaces, coming down into the waist, entering into the joints of the hips, circulating here, pulling here, gathering just a bit before then flowing down the outer and inner aspect of the upper thighs, the outer aspect of that IT band, as well as the inner aspect, the medial aspect of the thigh, flowing down through the thighs, entering into the knees and knee joint. Gathering here before then flowing down through the medial and lateral aspects of the lower legs. Connecting with the ankles. Entering into the ankle joint, circulating here, before then flowing down the inner, the medial aspect of the feet, the lateral, the outer aspect of the feet, flowing down, wrapping underneath the feet, the bottom of the feet, and then exiting, flowing back into the earth. Allowing a few moments to just breathe. Appreciating this flow of energy flowing down through the frontal, posterior, lateral, medial aspects of the body. Allowing ourselves this connection between the sky and the earth. Inhaling and exhaling as we relax into the breath. Gently bringing the arms back down to the sides. Opening the eyes. And closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. All right, so now we're going to do the rejuvenation series. So we're going from an extremely still exercise to a very motion-oriented exercise. We have in medical Qigong lots of different ways to practice, from the more still to the more active. And we're definitely seeing the two extremes here. I'm battling a little bit because one, so you know kind of where our trajectory is going to, why we practice both work on different aspects, even though both have aspects of each other within each other. But if you need to take a little time to readjust from the very yin exercise to the more yang exercises that we're going to be doing with rejuvenation, please feel free to do so. But otherwise, we're going to jump right into rejuvenation. So starting with the feet together, opening for the wave, inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Opening up. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Now you get to go at your own pace, using your breath to determine the speed of the exercise. Allowing the breath to carry you through the exercise. Getting ready to close. And closing. Bringing that left foot to the right. The modified closing is that we're taking an extra breath, so we're inhaling to the breastbone. Exhaling here. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling. And exhaling. And we have our shaking exercise. Shaking exercise has natural breathing. So your breathing is slow and even as the tempo, even as the vibration increases in speed. So if you're familiar with this exercise, go ahead and close the eyes. Taking a moment to allow the feet to connect with the earth. Keeping all the joints and tissues relaxed. As we start generating momentum from the knees. And starting to take away the momentum. Gradually allowing yourself to coast back to stillness. Opening the eyes and closing, the classical closing. Just bringing both feet together, sorry, the left foot to the right, inhaling all the way up. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. And just a reminder, if any of these exercises cause any discomfort at all, please feel free to modify them. Pain is not your best friend. We're not trying to push through the pain. We're trying to work within our body's parameters. Our third exercise, the infinity exercise. Inhaling. Opening. Turning the torso to the left, sinking down, inhaling and exhaling. Relaxing into the flow as left becomes right and right becomes left. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our next exercise is Scoop the Moon. Scoop the Moon also has natural breathing. So just breathe however your body wants to breathe. Getting ready to close. And closing. Exercise, swimming in chi. Maybe take a glance around to make sure that you've got plenty of room. This is a 3-part exercise. Part 1, inhaling and exhaling. Transitioning to part 2, we're inhaling, exhaling, in and out. Getting ready for part 3. Transitioning to part 3, we're turning 45 degrees to the left. I'm going to reposition myself slightly so I don't run into anything. The modified version, inhaling and exhaling. Or classical. And the other side. Turning 45 degrees to the right. Once again, I'm repositioning myself a little bit so I don't run into anything. Getting ready to close. Turning back to the front, closing. Swimming dragon, which also has 3 parts. Opening. Inhaling and exhaling. Getting ready for part 2. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling, exhaling. In and out. Getting ready for part 3. Transitioning to part 3. Inhaling, exhaling. And getting ready to close. Closing. And we have circles of harmony. Circles of harmony has natural breathing, so it's whatever feels best to you. And this exercise can be practiced very, very slowly or a little more quickly, a little bit more vibrantly. It's up to you. Opening for circles of harmony. Getting ready to close. And closing. All right, and then we're going to finish up at least the rejuvenation part with part of the ground exercises, the 8th in the series. So opening the same way. Then we're going to have a little camera change. Thanks to my husband, Sean's tripod. Hopefully, most likely, sort of. I really like my iPad, so I don't want to, not iPod, tripod. This is a tripod. I have an iPad, and I'm hoping that I won't destroy my iPad with the tripod. Okay, is that going to stay? Maybe, hopefully. All right. All right, the ground exercises are on the ground. That's a little tilted, but it's kind of artistic. So what we're going to do is you're going to find a comfy spot to lay upon the ground. Taking a moment to just let the body melt into the earth. Softening the jaw. Letting the back of the head come to the earth. The shoulders, the backs of the shoulders melting into the earth. The scapula. The glutes, the hips, the legs. And then once again, I'm going to be mirroring you. We're inhaling as we slide that left shoulder and hip along the ground towards the left ear. Exhaling as we come back to neutral. Inhaling now the right side. Exhaling back to neutral. 3 more times at your own pace on each side. And once you've done the shoulder and hip slides, we're going to do our reverse crunches. Once again, these are not like the gym crunches. So we're bringing our feet and legs up into a tabletop position. The knees and the hips, torso are about 90 degrees. lightly placing our palms just beneath the knees. And then on an inhale, we're slowly coming up. Exhaling, allowing ourselves to drop back a little bit. 3 more times at your own pace. Once you've done with the reverse crunches, we're going to go ahead and extend the legs. And then place one palm on top of the other. Closing the eyes. Inhaling as we guide and gather all that wonderful qi we've been cultivating into the lower dantian. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding, gathering all that wonderful qi you've been cultivating into the lower dantian, filling it up. Exhaling, allowing it to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Alrighty. When you're ready to transition into our seasonal exercises, go ahead and turn onto one side, taking your time to sit up. I am going to reposition the iPad / camera again, so you've got some time. Swinging around the world. Not really. We've got plenty of time. Please feel free to move slowly. Maybe grab a sip of water if you like. Our seasonal exercises are seated exercises. As always, you want to be comfortable. Even though it's cross-legged position, David is coming to join us. Even though the seated exercises are cross-legged, you can do this full lotus, half lotus, simple cross-legged. I like to sit on a little elevated. That helps me. But if none of those options work, that's fine. Just extend the legs, cross one on top of the other. And once again, if that doesn't work, no problem, just sit in a chair. It's really, you want to be comfortable because we don't want to generate more qi and blood stagnation. We don't want to generate pain. And I mentioned the whole thing about pain is not your best friend because that was written up on the gymnastics, because I'm old-ish, chalkboard. Thank you. It was written up on the chalkboard in the gymnastics gym when I was a kid. It's pain is your best friend. And I understand what they were trying to do, but that is not what we are trying to do. Okay, settling in. Placing the hands in baby fists, backs of the hands resting on the thighs, preparation for the seasonal exercises. Closing the eyes. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing ourselves to breathe into the moment, breathing into the space. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Opening the eyes and beginning, inhaling, exhaling, in, out, inhaling, exhaling, in, and out. Continuing on at your own pace. 3 more times, 3 more sets. While everyone's finishing up, I'm going to review the closing exercises for the seasonal exercises. And this was cold dew. That's the name of this exercise, cold dew. We're going to be placing our hands one on top of the other. Classically, men place their left hand on top, and then classically place their right hand on top. The thumbs are connected. Then we're going to be doing our teeth biting. So that's 36 times for men, 24 times for women. Once again, this is classical. And then we're going to take our tongue, swirling them around in our mouth 9 times clockwise, 9 times counterclockwise. Gathering all that saliva that we've generated in the mouth, we're going to swish it around in between our teeth 36 times for everyone. Then swallowing the saliva in thirds, allowing each third to come into the lower dantian, rest and store, before then going on to the second third, third third. Finally, we will be closing on our own. So simply closing the eyes and then using the mind's eye, the mind intent, gathering all the wonderful chi that we've been cultivating over the past hour, actually a little more than an hour now, into the lower dantian, giving it a nice, happy, comfy home for it to settle and store so that our bodies, our channels, our organ systems can use it throughout the rest of our day. All right, here we go. Thank you so very, very, very much.